realized that now that Wemby took a $50 million pay cut, Jalen Duren is finished. Because the reason why that man is still a free agent is because he's asking for Wemby money. In fact, if he gets every single penny that he wants, he'll be making more money than what Wemby signed for. I just know the Pistons front office threw a party when they saw Wemby's contract. Because now the negotiations are so easy. You want more money than the guy that just led his team to the finals at the same age as you? Meanwhile, this is what you are doing in the playoffs? If I was in the Pistons front office trying to negotiate that contract with him, if he's not willing to take $35 million, then all right, man, you can just walk. Because not only did that man have one of the worst playoff drops in NBA history, but it's also concerning to me that after the Pistons lowballed him, he demanded to go to the Kings, which is showing you that he doesn't care about winning, he only wants his money. And if you're the Pistons trying to build a contender, shit, maybe let him walk if he's not a winning type player. Like, there's really two types of players in the league, the ones that want to win no matter what, and the ones that just want their money. And to be fair to Jalen Duren, he has the right to demand every single penny that he can potentially get, especially because there's no loyalty in the NBA. For example, he can get traded, so I'm not saying that he's a bad person for trying to demand every single penny that he can potentially get. It makes sense from his perspective, even though we all know he's not worth more than Wemby. The point of this video is that he no longer has leverage, because how can the Pistons justify paying Jalen Duren more than Wemby?
I am so unbelievably sorry to anybody who is not a Spurs fan, because Wemby just signed his rookie extension, right? For 5 years, $252 million. And you're thinking it's a maximum extension. He took the most money he could, until you realize he took a pay cut. He left $51 million on the table. Which means that starting next season, Victor Wembanyama will be making the 13th most annually in the NBA. Because of this move, they can re-sign Castle. They can re-sign Harper. They can go out in free agency. This man just took them to the finals in year 3, won a DPOY, and was an MVP finalist. And on top of all of that, is giving more money back to his franchise so the core group of stars that they have can stay together. This is like if the OKC Thunder never had to let Harden go. For the next 5 years, they are staying together. So if you are a fan of anybody else, I am sorry.
Victor Wembanyama, a top 2 center in the NBA, is taking a pay cut to make his team better. While on the flip side, you have Jalen Duren, who underperformed in the playoffs, was barely an all-star. Not only asking for more money from the Detroit Pistons, who still believe in him, he's shopping around the NBA. The Kings don't want him. The Lakers don't want him. I mean, as a Pistons fan, you're doing it to yourself, Jalen Duren. You're doing it to yourself. I'm sorry.
All right, man. There's a lot of talk about the Detroit Pistons and Jalen Duren. And now, you know, I wanted to get to this all weekend. I couldn't get to it because I was busy. But so to talk about Jalen Duren, bro, like Victor Wembanyama took less than the max so the Spurs can win a championship. So now people are saying that Jalen Duren is being selfish. Let me tell you something, bro. Take yourself out of a fan standpoint of view and think about Jalen Duren. If I'm entitled to $287 million and I earned that by making All NBA third team, I'm going to want that. I'm going to want that. And on top of that, you have some people like Tobias Harris took a shot at the Pistons. We talked about that. And said that he didn't believe that the Detroit Pistons were really trying to be a championship organization. He said that I didn't. He said he went to the Spurs because I felt like they're trying to really win a championship, you know? And that's what he said. So maybe Duren don't feel like that, but check out Detroit Piston Talk playlist, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. My point being this, Victor Wembanyama gave up $40 million, $30 plus million, the exact same deal that Duren is getting. He gave up like $30 plus million to stay with the Spurs so they can win a championship. Victor Wembanyama is going to make that money back through Nike. He's going to make that money back through Nike, endorsements, international endorsements, domestic U.S. endorsements. Duren is not going to get them opportunities to make that money back. That $30 to $40 million that Victor is leaving on the table, he's probably going to more than quintuple that in that time frame in endorsements. So I think people don't looking at Jalen Duren is not going to be able to get that money. He ain't going to be able to, the way Victor left that money on the table, Duren ain't going to be able to make that money up off the court. You know, not like Victor Wembanyama. They are pushing him to be the face of the National Basketball Association. But, and that's the main argument that I'm making here, but I'm not knocking nobody for getting all the money that they deserve, that they entitled to. You can say, well, he ain't deserve to do this, or he ain't deserve. How many times, you know, and I've been working, and we may not hit accuracy or quarter or quarter, and they say, you know what, as a group, they be like, you know what, y'all did y'all job, we still gonna give it to y'all. And how grateful I was for that. Even though as a unit, we might not, as a collective unit, but our department did what we supposed to do, and they gave us the bread. They gave us the bread because we did our part, but as a collective, everybody around us, they gave us our money. So I was, but people say, oh, he's selfish, he this and that. And maybe I think hearing all the fans, that's the death blow. Hearing all the fans say, oh, he ain't worth it, let him go. You think if you hear that for a city you've been in for what, 3 to 5 seasons, and you hear the fans speaking like that about you, you think you would want to come back there? And then the organization in your mind double down or triple down on you, them not wanting you, but Sacramento like, look here, we give you what you're looking for. Just had them sign a trade. You like, okay, you're saying I'm not worth this, but Sacramento is saying I'm worth it. Just send me to Sacramento. Let me go to Sacramento and prove myself over there. And to be honest, in business-wise, no, we think you worth this and we don't want to get rid of you. You're gonna play for this over here. Business-wise, it's what it is. It's what it is. But in our minds, living every day to day, not being in business, regular people like, okay, shit, they don't think I'm worth this. They give him this over, let him go over there and see if he worth it. 1 + 1 = 2 in our mind, but it don't equal 2 in their mind, you know? So honestly, he should be able to go to Sacramento. If they're gonna pay him all the money that he want, he should be able to go over there and get his money. And we should have to figure it out. But the Pistons, he restricted, and the Pistons got the leverage. They got the leverage. They got the leverage. But that money, y'all kind of comparing Wemby to Duren and saying, oh, Wemby took less. Wemby gonna make that money back off the court. Probably tenfold in that time period. Ain't nobody pushing for Duren to be the face of the league. Duren ain't gonna get his own shoe. You know? So I'm trying to get y'all, you know, from how he thinking. Y'all thinking this, oh, he didn't do this and he should have showed up. Every contract that these guys get, believe it or not, is not based on what they done. It's been guys who was getting $100 million contracts like Buddy Hield years ago. They was getting this money years ago based on what they could do. What they could do. What they would do in the future. This contract ain't just based off what you did. It's based on projecting where Jalen Duren will be, where he will be in a few years. That's what it's based off of. Yeah, okay, this is what you do. Because think about it, you get a rookie deal, they basically paying you for, you know, what they think you would do. This contract is a little different. They're paying you based on what you did, but also what you think you can do. Now, on the other side, people saying, hey, man, we have Drummond. I did the video on Drummond. I put it in cards and try to remember put it in screen. We had Drummond, and Drummond did the same thing. And, you know, Drummond got his money. He didn't care. Okay, basically people saying if Duren he had a career year, right? He was healthy this year, had a career year. Now he get his chili. Maybe he ain't gonna want to play no more. And that's fair, but only they know his character. And if you go out there and they say, well, go see what you can get. I'm not saying they said that. They like, go see what you can get on the market. And you go out there and get what he's on the market, and somebody willing to pay him 45, 50 or more, significantly more than the Pistons, you know, it may be time to make a deal. You feel me? So y'all are looking at it from a fan standpoint of view. But if they say, if I hit this incentive, I'm worth this, and they be like, oh no, you worth this, and they say I'm worth that out there, I want to go where any of y'all in that position gonna feel the same way he feel. On top of people saying you ain't shit, you a bum, yo, we don't want you in Detroit, get rid of him. He as good as he gonna get at 22 years old. You hearing all that, man? You getting the fuck out of here too. That's what I don't really understand about most people. They want grace in their situation. Let's just say they want grace if they was in this situation. But in this situation, they not willing to sympathize with the person. They not willing to put they self in the person's shoes. I'm putting myself in his shoes. I'm put like that. That was my son. If you say, hey man, you know, hey, we think you worth this, and you find somebody that say, hey man, he worth this, we're willing to make a deal with you, and we gonna pay him the 50, 45 he deserve. No, we gonna keep him, and he worth the 30. And then you gotta come back here. The fans don't want you here. The fans done tore you apart. Oh, he only deserved 25. He only deserved 35. We don't even want. Come on now. And I understand that comes with the territories being a professional athlete. But let me tell you this. If you had an opportunity, your job was like, okay, you restricted, nigga. We willing to pay you 25 an hour. Let's just say 35 an hour. It's the Pistons. 35 an hour. And another company can come in there and say, hey, look, if they can trade you over here, you can get out your non-disclosure agreement, your non-competitive contract. We willing to pay you 50. You got a family to feed. They gonna look your son, your daughter, your wife in the face and say, oh, I just took 35 because to be just, no, you gonna fight to get to the 50. That difference can change your family's life. You gonna fight to get to the 50. That's the $15 an hour mean everything. You know? So think about that I get it. Y'all are mad and y'all. This is not the end for Jalen Duren development, bro. He's going to get better. The speed, the fit, the feet, the ball. You can see the. And I got caught up in the playoff hoopla and stuff, and he was not there. He was not there. Mentally, it was, you know, but many people been in that position. Scottie Pippen was in that position. And, you know, they got them together. Scottie figured it out. Jalen Duren seems to be, everything I seen or heard from him going back to, he seemed to be a good dude, bro. He seemed to be a good dude. He seemed to be a good dude. He seemed to be a good dude. I think, me personally, and people probably kill me if I'm wrong. Me personally, I think he gonna figure it out. I said last year they'd go as far as he took them. I was right. They literally went as far as he took them. He could have did a lot better job. But personally, I think he got more. I think he got more room to grow. It's like a puppy. You see the big paws on the puppy. You see them big paws on the puppy. You like, man, he still got room there. You see that additional skin on a puppy. He got room to grow. I think y'all being too harsh on him, man. I ain't saying they should give him the full 50 or shouldn't. But hopefully they come to a compromise, man. I think he gonna be a stud, man. I think he got a lot of room to get better. And I ain't saying what nobody don't deserve when they earned it. And somebody willing to give it to you, I'm gonna fight the same way. But hit the link in the description. Find me everywhere from Instagram, Facebook, X, the whole 9 piece.
He's unique. He's just tall. He's very tall. You know, skilled, lanky, moves. He's constantly moving. I'll probably say him. The way he moves on the court, you know, he never standing still. That's probably the hardest thing. And, you know, once he get close to the rim, he's looking at the rim. So you just throw it to him there. But every team has somebody who's a great player. Everybody's a pro. So got to be ready to guard. It don't matter who it is. That was my goal coming in, just trying to be lower than him, move him out, make all his shots from outside of the paint, and, make everything tough for him. Like I said, he's about as tall as the basket, so the best thing you can do is kind of move him away.